What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. So recently I put out this poll on Instagram asking you all what your biggest fears are in private practice. I was thinking I'd get, 10, maybe 20 replies to this question, and then I'd respond to all of your questions in a Q&A video. Now, what I wasn't expecting was getting over 100 replies. Oh my goodness. Clearly, you all are quite fired up by the invitation to share what your biggest fears are in private practice. So I decided that rather than try to address all of your questions in one Q&A video, that I would start a new series addressing some of your biggest fears in private practice. And as I looked through all of your responses to my question on Instagram, there was one doozy that just kept popping up over and over again. And that was, what if I don't get enough clients? So I thought that would be a great one to go ahead and kick off this series with, so we're gonna tackle that fear in today's video. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. All right, so let's dive into it. How do we address your fear that you're not going to get enough clients in private practice? First, I think it's important to say that this is a 100% valid fear. And nobody wants to be in the scenario where they quit their at least somewhat cushy salaried job in order to launch a private practice that then doesn't generate enough clients in order to be sustained. I mean, that is quite a nightmare. So because it's completely valid, it's important to prepare for this concern in advance. So how do we make sure you avoid the feared outcome of not getting enough clients in private practice? Well, there are a number of ways to approach this, but the lowest risk option is to make sure you have evidence of a steady stream of new clients coming in before you've ever taken the plunge into private practice. This means that you start marketing your practice before you actually have one. In other words, before you quit your salaried job, before you start paying rent to an office, and before you apply to be on insurance panels, you start marketing your practice. Now, I know this might sound really backwards or like a completely revolutionary idea for some of you, but if you think about it, you can start marketing your practice and see what marketing strategies are working for you before you've ever taken the plunge into private practice. If you find a strategy that works for you, then you can start building your waitlist until you're ready to open your doors. And yes, it is okay to have a waitlist for private practice as long as you very clearly communicate to potential clients what that looks like for them. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what it looks like to market your practice when you don't have one yet. As always, there are lots of ways to approach this, but it's important to find a route that works best for both you and your ideal clients. But I suggest you get started by getting to know yourself, what your brand is about, who you serve, and what their primary pain points are. That way you know how to speak to your ideal clients and exactly where to find them. Now, I've made videos on each of these topics, so I've linked to those below if you'd like help with those steps. And once you know who you are and who you serve, you can create a tailored marketing strategy and test it out for a little while. Now, I suggest you start with maybe 1 or 2 marketing approaches at a time, test it out for a little bit and see if it works. Now, if it's working for you, great. And if it's not quite working for you, then you can try a different marketing approach and test that one out for a little while. Let me clarify what I'm describing with a couple of examples. So let's say after navigating through these first few steps, you decide that you want to help teens overcome eating disorders. And let's say you also personally really enjoy public speaking. Then maybe you might test out an initial marketing strategy of reaching out to local pediatric clinics and pitching yourself to speak to local communities about identifying signs of teen eating disorders. Maybe pitching that to local schools, community centers, parent groups, etc. You try this out for a few months and see if folks express interest in learning more or wanting to book with you. And if after a few months it's not really generating any leads, now it's time to pivot to a different strategy to see what works. Maybe now then you try an online marketing strategy and you try building your social media presence, test that out for a few months and see if it generates any leads. And in the meantime, all of this is happening while you're maintaining a steady full-time job with your reliable salary. So you have very little to lose. You're just kind of doing this on the side, maybe for a couple of hours a week. Or here's a second example. Let's say you've decided that you want to offer both individual therapy and group therapy to folks who've lost a partner to suicide. And let's say maybe you're a little more introverted and a little more tech savvy. Then maybe your initial marketing strategy to test out might look like building a website that targets search terms that folks might be typing into a Google search if they've lost a partner to suicide. Try that out for a few months, maybe build in an option for folks to contact you if they're interested in counseling services, and if it's not generating any leads after a few months, then again, pivot your marketing strategy to something else. So as you can see, no matter what your specialty is, you can try out different marketing strategies until you find one that grows your wait list. And once you have a wait list, it's an option to test out private practice on the side while you're still maintaining your full-time job. And again, you're just testing it out. Who on my wait list actually comes to see me? Are my marketing strategies still growing the number of folks on my wait list? And if it is, you have the option of just growing your practice more and more until you eventually decide you might want to go part-time in your regular job or quit altogether. Now, whatever route you choose, you have the option of trying out as many marketing strategies as you want, seeing what generates what kinds of leads and when it makes the most sense to take the plunge into private practice and how. Now, with all of this said, there are so many factors at play outside of our control in the world that there's just no way to 100% guarantee that you will always have a full practice of clients forever and ever. There could be a recession. There could be the marketing strategy you're using no longer exists. If you've been marketing through Instagram and Instagram disappears, well, you might have to find a new way to generate leads, for example. All of that said, this is true in different ways no matter how you generate your income. If you're working at an agency or somewhere that's offering you a steady salary, there's no guarantee that you're going to have that job forever. So what we're talking about is minimizing risk, and it does require flexibility to pivot your marketing strategy if your marketing strategy isn't continuing to work for you. But hopefully by knowing that you found a marketing strategy that is proven and effective right now, and knowing you have the flexibility to switch your marketing strategy in the future if you need to, hopefully it provides the assurance that you can fill your practice before you've ever gotten started. Thank you to TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Now, whenever you are finally ready to take that oh so exciting plunge into private practice, it's so helpful to have a comprehensive practice management system to help you stay organized and on task. TherapyNotes helps from scheduling to notes to billing, and they have a telehealth platform. They have so many features, I can't even name them all here. Like, you can charge your clients credit cards through TherapyNotes. It's amazing. So if you're interested in checking it out, you can get 2 months to try TherapyNotes for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments what strategies you found helpful in overcoming your fears related to not getting enough clients in private practice. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. That's my dog wagging her tail in her sleep. Soapy. Shush.